What up, brahs? Look at this dirty 6 though real quick. Just look at it. Now respect it. Look at this minty tire. Minty. Wow! Must be school time or... Oh! Thank you, Riley's Power Sports, for sponsoring this video. Anyway, so I got some stuff to talk about, right? There's this video in California where this guy was running from the prairies. So that's how we'll start the video. We'll just put that up real quick here in a second. Just any moment now. I wanted to get rolling, and then we'll cut to the scene. Now look at the scene.
That motorcyclist appearing to kind of stand up there on the motorcycle there for a second, but oh my gosh! Oh.
All right. So now that we've watched the horror unfold together. I'm sorry. It's like cold and I'm like distracting myself with, you know, but it also distracts me mentally and then I forget what I'm talking about. Anyway, so now that we watched that video, I want to break it down for you. I was trying to see if that Black SUV was a cop or not. It's not. We're good. Stop it. I'm so easily distracted today. Okay, so 1, the bike was stolen. 2, the guy left the plate on the bike of the stolen motorcycle. And so, okay, I don't think stealing bikes is cool. That's not fun. That's not nice. That's not fun. Shouldn't be doing that, right? But if you are to steal a motorcycle, so you're doing a bad thing, right? You're riding a motorcycle, you know you're not going to pull over the cops, you're doing a bad thing. Why on earth would you leave the plate on? Okay? You don't leave the plate on. See here? The reason I don't have a plate on is because But
I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
That's the reason. Whoa! So windy! Alright, so why would you leave the plate on? Because a cop could just run your plate randomly. You could be chilling in traffic doing absolutely nothing wrong, and a cop will be a car behind or off to the right or something, and he'll see your plate and he'll run your plate, just because cops sometimes do that. They just run plates randomly. Maybe they think you look suspicious. I don't know. Point is, the dude starts running from a cop. I think it started in like a parking lot, and then he left, got away from the cop, right? Cop never even turned on his light. Something's rattling. Ah, my shoelace. Cop didn't even turn on his lights, but obviously was trying to pull him over. I thought he hit his lights for a second. Whatever. Point is, there's no cops chasing him, and the guy is running away. I guess it freaked him out. He's like, I gotta get the heck out of here. So he starts running away, and there so happened to be a news helicopter or a police helicopter following him or something. I think it was news. I don't know. Whatever. Helicopters followed him. The dude's blowing through intersections. Like, why are you panicking that bad? You're blowing through intersections. Or maybe you think, maybe you saw the cop, maybe he saw the chopper or something. Maybe that's why he's blowing through intersections. Either which way, the helicopter's not going to jump down and grab you. You don't have to run that hard. There's no cops behind you. Why are you running so fast? Why are you trying to get away so desperately when you can't even see anybody behind you? We'll pretend he didn't see the helicopter. Just, because it never looked like he did. He never looked up and over. He just was riding. Anyway, the dude's running. He goes through that intersection, blows through it, and just plows into the car, right? Cut case, dude's dead, right? I don't know why he did any of that. Like, there's so many bad decisions. Like, 1, riding a stolen bike. 2, leaving the plate on a stolen bike. 3, running from the cop, and then even though the cop is no longer after him, still continuously doing just reckless maneuvers. Like, I wouldn't do that. I would never run from a cop, for one. But if I was to run from a cop, I would never do that. I mean, okay, so look, I'm speaking from zero experience because I've never done this ever in my entire life. I am a law-abiding citizen. I pull over and I get tickets all the time, especially because I don't have a plate on the back. I got a collection of those tickets. It's like a monthly bill. Because I always pull over, right? Idiot on the internet speaking about things that he knows absolutely nothing about from experience. But trust me, just trust me, you should listen to me. If you're gonna run from the cops, if they're not behind you anymore, you shouldn't be running so crazy at that point. Also, if you're gonna run from the cops and they are behind you, you still shouldn't be running that crazy, because once he split through the whole intersection, he passed at least 3 cars in the line, I think, on all sides. No squad car is going to be able to fit through that. So why do you have to keep blowing through the intersection at 100 miles an hour? That makes no logical sense whatsoever. And it just goes down to panic. I think the guy was panicking. He was panicking and trying to run home like a dummy dumb. I didn't bother to look up how old he was. Wouldn't surprise me if he was young, just to make such a dumb mistake like that. Anyway, you shouldn't be panicking that hard. If you're being chased and they're right behind you, and you come up to an intersection, there's all these cars lined up, ride through the middle of the cars, and then stop at the intersection and look back. I guarantee the cop's not going to magically jump out of his car and grab you in that short time period. He's going to be stuck behind all those cars and sitting there blaring his sirens and his horns and stuff. And you're going to be perfectly fine. There's no need for anybody to panic like that and run like that. There just isn't. Unless you just don't value your life whatsoever. This is coming from me. That's a nice pond. Anyway, you don't have to do all that. You can very casually escape from a cop all day long on a motorcycle. And then if you want to go, if you're really worried and you can't get away in town for whatever reason, you're putt-putting around and you're going through the intersections and he's jumping curbs and still managing to catch up in between the straights and the traffic, then get to the highway and then pin the bike out where you're open, wide open, safe, good spot to do it. Not in the middle of town. You blast, if you're going to be running in town, you need to blast in the sections where no cars can pull out in front of you and there's no intersections. You go fast there, then you slow down through those spots and cautiously make your way through the intersection alive, and then continue onward. Don't panic. And if you're gonna be doing bad stuff and running from cops and stuff, always, then don't run your plate, because the plate is what leads cops straight to your house. The plate is what they, run. But also, expect the fact that you don't have a plate being a good reason a cop will try to pull you over. And there's a classic saying, I can't say it because YouTube, here, right? Don't here, okay, where you sleep, alright? That saying, okay, you take that in stride. So if you live in a small little town, right, and you're surrounded by big city, you should not run in that small town, ever. You should pull over for those cops, because that's where you stay. You don't want the cops having an eye out for you, and every time you leave your house, you run the risk. I had a friend at the time who ran from all his town cops to a point to where they finally knew exactly where he lived, and literally set cops out down the street of his neighborhood waiting for him to leave on his bike. They never caught him, but they got really close. He ended up having to get rid of all his bikes. Hell, one time, he left, I picked up his bikes after running and took them to my house, just to leave him at my house for a week, so that he could just show up to his house and walk in on foot, and because he knew the cops would be waiting at his house. Like, you don't do that. But then when you get away from your town and you're in all the big cities around you or whatever, you know, I'm not advocating for running from cops at all, but you can. You can do it in that sort of way, and it's like a really generic, safe thing to do. Hello, child. I scared the children. Anyway, the moral of my story is that everybody's got a little bit of Dukes of Hazzard in them, alright? Everybody's got that, you know, wild, free, run from the cops just because it's fun. You know, not necessarily because you're a criminal or doing anything wrong, but simply because it's kind of fun. Get your little kicks in. You weren't doing anything all that bad, like killing the streets and the wheelies and whatnot, you know. And that's my mentality behind that kind of stuff. You know, personally, if you were to ask me, like, I'll just say it's like a Dukes of Hazzard type thing. If you don't know what that means, then go watch the Dukes of Hazzard. They were never really doing anything wrong. They're just always running for the cops. I mean, minus the fact after they stopped running moonshine. But anyway, after that, anyway, I don't know. That's the way I see it. Like not like a hardcore criminal. I ain't trying to kill nobody. Ain't trying to get killed. And my life is worth more than to blow through an intersection at 100 miles an hour blindly like that and just end it. Like, don't do that. It's not that big of a deal. Even if you do have a plate and you did decide to run for some dumb reason, they still, you know, well, so what? Take your slap on the wrist if you're scared that they're going to be able to get your plate, because the chances of them going to your house are pretty slim, and on top of that, the chances of them being able to prove that it was you on that motorcycle are pretty slim. Because, you know, you just got to look at it that way. You can't look at it as so freaking serious and thanks to cops are just going to magically get you, because death will magically get you when you start doing reckless stuff, but the cops won't. And even if they do, even if you did have a plate and you did run and you didn't panic, but the cops stayed behind you the majority of the way until you got to the highway or something like that, then, you know, oh well, take your little slap on the wrist whenever they come to your house and send you a ticket, or, you know, come to your house with an arrest warrant for whoever owns that motorcycle, and then all you gotta do is fight it in court. Like, we have a justice system. It's easy to deal with that kind of stuff. Like, really. It's not super easy, but it's, if you got a good attorney, it's not so bad. Anyway, my point is, value your life. Like, care about your life a little bit on these things. Don't be so caught up in the fact of a cop chasing you that you just blindly run, and you don't even have a squad car behind you anymore, and you're still running. There's lots of videos of people crashing like that. I think the one that comes to my mind is this dude that ran from a cop and then was just still running hardcore through all the city streets and neighborhood roads, and he was splitting cars. It was a 2-lane road, cars going like this, right? And he's right here splitting them, and they're all lined up stopped because one car's trying to turn, and that car's not gonna look to the left for anybody, and the car goes and the dude just plows into it, and he got caught. Like, he's stupid. He was panic running. He was running for his life, and the cop wasn't even behind him anymore, and he was still running for his life, just recklessly through town. You should never run recklessly through town. You should be real smart and cautious, and, you know, you shouldn't run at all, but I'm just saying, if you were, you gotta be smart. You just can't be reckless and stuff. You gotta be calm. So that's the end of my story. Just be calm. Respect your life a little bit. And respect the cops too. They're just doing their job. Some do it a little bit more aggressively than others. And an experienced rider such as myself, if I was to run, wouldn't be too worried about it. He's not gonna magically jump out of his squad car and grab you. So, there you go. That's that. And I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all later. We're gonna make this jump real quick. See if we can get some air. Oh, I'm kind of scared. I did, my front wheel came up a little bit, but yeah, no, I'm too scared to hit that thing with some full steam.